A newborn horse can stand within minutes of birth. Within hours, it can gallop alongside its mother, possessing the motor control to keep pace with the herd and flee from predators. Human infants arrive in a different state. They cannot hold up their own heads, they cannot intentionally reach for food, and they appear to have no control over the movement of their own limbs. This creates a biological gap. If an infant is incapable of directing its own body, it lacks the basic motor skills required to navigate the critical first weeks outside the womb. This visualization identifies the biological source of a newborn's movement. While the higher brain centers remain underdeveloped at birth, the brainstem is fully active, sending rhythmic pulses out to the limbs and mouth. These pulses trigger primitive reflexes, involuntary responses that require no practice and no conscious thought. They function as a temporary biological system, executing tasks on autopilot until the baby's conscious mind matures enough to take control. These brainstem responses allow the infant to respond to their environment immediately, providing the specific movements necessary to stay alive before the conscious brain is ready. Because these responses indicate the health of the baby's nervous system, pediatricians test them moments after birth to confirm the internal wiring is functional. The first priority is nourishment. A gentle stroke on a newborn's cheek triggers the rooting reflex, causing them to automatically turn their head toward the touch and open their mouth to find a food source. Once latched, the sucking reflex begins. This diagram illustrates the mechanical gating required to suck, swallow, and breathe simultaneously. The brainstem automatically ensures milk enters the stomach, not the lungs, securing calories for growth long before the infant learns to eat. Beyond feeding, the body has hardwired defense protocols, such as the Moro reflex. When an infant feels a sudden loss of support, they react by flinging their arms outward as their fingers extend, before quickly pulling their limbs back toward their chest. Evolutionary biologists identify this as an ancient instinct to grasp onto a caregiver, preventing a fall. There is also the tonic neck reflex. When a baby's head is turned to one side, the arm on that side stretches out, while the opposite arm bends at the elbow. This posture helps prevent an infant from accidentally rolling over onto their stomach before they have the neck strength to lift their head. These movements act as a physical safeguard, providing a mechanism for safety and feeding while the higher brain is still developing. Other infant movements serve as physical reminders of human evolutionary history. If you place a finger in a newborn's palm, they will grip it with enough strength to support their own weight. And when held upright with their feet touching a flat surface, they will lift their legs in an alternating stepping motion. There is also a distinct reaction in the foot. Stroke the sole from heel to toe, and the big toe will move upward while the others fan out. This is known as the Babinski sign, named after the neurologist Joseph Babinski, who documented the specific neurological reaction in 1896. To a pediatrician, these reactions provide a reliable map of the baby's central nervous system. A predictable, strong response to these tests confirms that the neurological pathways are functional and the infant is developing as expected. If these reflexes are absent or asymmetrical, it alerts doctors to potential neurological issues, making these involuntary movements a critical diagnostic tool. Despite being vital for early survival, almost all primitive reflexes disappear by the baby's first birthday. The Moro reflex usually fades by 2 months, followed by the grasping reflexes a few months later. This raises a logical question. Why does the body dismantle a functioning survival system? This transition marks the maturation of the central nervous system. As the baby grows, new neural connections from the upper cortex cascade downward, establishing control over the simpler loops in the brainstem. This rewiring replaces involuntary reactions with voluntary motor control. The automatic grasp reflex must recede so that the child can learn to intentionally pick up an object or choose to let it go. If these primitive reflexes do not fade, they can interfere with later development. For example, a retained tonic neck reflex can physically prevent a child from developing the coordination needed to crawl or roll over. Primitive reflexes are the temporary scaffolding of human development. They support the infant through their most vulnerable months and then recede, leaving behind a child capable of consciously reaching out to grasp the world.